All right.
All right. So thanks everyone. Next month in August, we're having Bridget Dermott and we're doing a workshop on the Big Top quilt. We have about 6 people signed up so far, so there are a few seats left. And we would love to have you join us. And the cost for the workshop is $45. Plus, she's offered a discount on the pattern, a 50% discount on the pattern, and you'll purchase that from her website directly. And I'll put in the dates into the chat after I'm done talking, but they're in the calendar. So if you go to the website and you click on calendar, I've added in all the dates for when the scholarships open for each of the workshops, when the scholarship winner will be notified, and when the tickets go on sale for workshops, specifically for each of the workshops. So everything should be there, but feel free to email us if you have questions or can't find it. We can go on to the next slide.
All righty.
Great. So September, this is a really great in-person workshop. So it's a 2-day outdoor natural dyeing workshop. And we're super excited for Sarah Biscaglia to join us here in Portland. So it'll be $100 for the 2 days combined. And yeah, excited for more details. We're still figuring out where we'll hold the workshop, although likely it will be on the east side, but we're looking at a few different options. So we hope you'll sign up for this workshop as well. And then in October, we've got Melissa De Leon Mason, and she is going to do an introduction to FPP and FPP design workshop, and she'll be our guest speaker as well, lecturer. And her workshop is amazing at only $25 for her workshop. So we hope you'll join us for that one. It's going to be, if you don't have a background in FPP, this is your chance to learn with us. Next slide.
All right, that was it for our programs. We do have these great PMQG tote bags that are, they are giant, but they're like not too giant. I've carried mine around and it's been a great bag. So we have them $20 for local pickup if you are in the Portland metro area, and then $25 for US shipping. And then if you want one and you're in Canada, email the Guild and we'll make arrangements to make that work. So, and they are printed locally in Portland, and yeah, so I'd love to have you get a PMQG tote bag. All right, we do have some charity sew days with Kath Hall at the Alberta Modern Domestic location coming up. She didn't have those dates to me prior to getting these slides going, so we'll put those on the calendar as soon as we have them, but they'll be sometime in August. So we'll get those figured out and posted in the next week or so. And then we do have in-person sew days coming up. We're going to be over at the Beaverton Westside Mill End on August 26th. We're going to have a free table and a sew day. And then November 18th will be just the sew day. So you can bring your machine and your project and work for a couple hours or longer. We'd love to have you for the whole day. We will have ironing boards and irons and big cutting mats. And it's a nice, bright space to work in. And then the Tillicum Retreat is coming up at the end of October. We have tickets on sale now. And double occupancy rooms are available for $290. That is for 3 nights. So it's Thursday to Sunday. And it includes all of your meals and sewing space. And then single occupancy rooms are $350. And there is a special diet option if you need gluten-free or vegetarian or vegan. They do a really good job of accommodating that, and all of the food is super tasty. We do have the Astoria retreat is reserved at the Astoria Crest Motel for their community room, but we do need to have some coordinators to help with that. If you're interested, please email the Guild. At this point, we don't have anyone who's super confirmed to help with that. And if we don't get anybody in the next couple of weeks, we won't be able to hold that retreat. So if you're interested, please let me know. All right, so every year, MQG does their community outreach challenge. These were previously called the QuiltCon charity quilts. This year's theme is symmetry, and these are the colors that they are asking us to use this year. So we got one design submitted from Chris Martini, our Rose City original, and this is his cool design that would be scrappy crumb piecing for the purple areas, and then solid fabrics for the yellow areas. We need some helpers, and we need some folks to commit that they can make some blocks. So I was not able to get the poll set up, but let me see if I can do that really fast. No. No, I can't do a poll. I thought I could do a poll, but I can't. Oh, there it is. Here we go. Give me just a second. Oh gosh, come on. All right, I'm gonna share this. Launch. All right. Let us know if you would make a block of this quilt. To help out. There would be a template, or we would have the pieces pre-cut for you. We're still working on figuring out how that might work. All right. Looks like a few more people are answering. All right, we're right at 50-50. Anybody else? Last call to answer the poll. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close it. So 23 people might help make a block. So we'll discuss if that is enough folks to try to make this happen, and we'll keep you posted on what the plan is for getting that kits put together and sharing those out. We do really need somebody to kind of take point on this who is not on the board. So if you're interested in helping with that, preferably you're in the Portland metro area, let us know. Email the Guild. All right, we're more than halfway through the year, so we're starting to recruit for next year's board. And is the community outreach project local only? Probably not. We can probably figure out a way to make it work if you're out of town. So yeah. we'd figure that out. All right, so if you're interested in helping run the guild, we would love to have your help. We are definitely going to have openings for president and VP of tech and secretary. We need a co-programs coordinator to work with Michelle. And at this point, we are planning to have every other month be in person next year. We've started to book those at the Multnomah Arts Center. So it would be helpful to have at least most of the board be in the Portland metro area just to help with setup and logistics of the in-person meetings. But if you are not in the Portland metro area and you want to help out, we would love to have your help. So please email the guild. If you're interested and you have, Angie has a question. Go ahead, Angie. You have to email us and we'll send them to you. We are without a tech person this year, and so we have not been posting them on YouTube, but they do exist in Zoom and we can send you the links. And anybody else that wants them, they're just trying to get them uploaded to YouTube was one of the things that couldn't happen this year. Anyway, if anybody has questions about a particular board position, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to any of the current board members, you can reach out to the guild inbox, you can DM PMQG on Instagram, you can DM me directly. Happy to chat, happy to talk about what is involved in the various positions. But the guild can't run without a board. So we hope we'll have folks step up. All right, Amy, you ready?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So the PMQG, the PMQG block of the month this year is the Portland Improv Sampler. So it's a little bit different than a traditional block of the month. Y'all hear me say this every month, but some people don't come every month, so I'll just repeat myself. So you can start at any point. It's entirely whenever, if you're on vacation and you're like, yes, this is what I'm going to work on this 1 week in August, go for it. The PDFs are all on the members only website, and the very first one is an introduction PDF. So it has links to things like different improv techniques if you're feeling intimidated. And then every month is up there individually as well. So you can also just save them and do them later. It's up to you. So this month's is the Washington Park Station, the TriMet Max station. I thought it was such a cool, this image has so many things in it you can pick out, but I thought that it was such a cool image. And it's also the deepest transit station in North America, which is kind of fun, considering it's the only underground one in the Max system. Like they went all out for it, apparently. So next one. So I go through these and I try to give you like some ideas of what you can do. And so I'm starting with the really simple one, like you could just go with the straight lines of the train, and that would be really cool. You could go with the ray effects that the motion blur gives. Next one. Or you could go with the curves, which is what I fell in love with the image. Or the really cool, they have like a series, so you'd be looking at perspective with the straight lines of the overhead lights. So that'd be cool perspective in there. Or go totally to the bottom and look at the diamonds that are on the floor imprint. So there is, or pick up something else entirely that I didn't notice even. But I think the next one will show you what Sandy's is. Sandy incorporated details from a whole bunch of things. She's got like the lights in there, and she's got the motion blur, and she's doing, so hers are really awesome. Hers is really awesome. But I went the opposite way with mine, and I did a really simple block using only one fabric to show the curve of the tunnel, which is called the Robertson Tunnel, I think. And I've had some feedback from some people that it felt kind of intimidating. They didn't really know where to start, or they felt like it was a big thing to do. So I started remaking some of my months and I'm only using one fabric. So I'm just using the stripe and I'm trying to keep it as super simple as possible. So the first one there is Big Pink, and then there's Mount Hood, and then there's the Max Station one, and then there's Multnomah Falls. So super, super simple. And I think it's gonna look really cool when I have like 9 and make a mini wall hanging. So I just wanted to show another way to go with it. You don't have to go super detailed like Sandy's example or like some of my examples have been. You can also just go really simple. And you might think, oh, this block looks silly because it's so simple, like my one curved one. But once they all go together, it's going to be really awesome. So I think it'd be really cool. I was looking for actually a fabric with big roses all over it with us, and then do a big roses and then a solid, because I thought that would be really cool because it would be like negative space to have the images. But I was working on this when I was recovering from COVID, so I couldn't leave the house to go looking for rose fabric. But I think it'd be really cool. And I hope someone else does it because it would be amazing. Or even like the fabric that has like the carpet on it, the Portland carpet, and then one of the solids would be super fun too. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, so this is just another way to look at it. And I'm terrible at email, I'll fully admit that. But if you really want to start and you're like, I don't know where to start, please feel free to email me. I start basically with a square and I cut out my design, like as if I was drawing the sample. So like the Mount Hood one, I just had a piece of fabric and I cut out a mountain and then fill it in. And that's kind of how I start playing with improv when I want to look like something specific. But if you want some encouragement or suggestion, or you just want someone to like be like, yes, go for it. Feel free to email me. It's Amy Dame at Gmail. So anyway, yes, there we go. That's what I was trying to say. So thank you, everyone. Sorry, babbling. Thank you.
Sorry, I covered up my mute button with the chat. Thank you so much, Amy. That is so, I love the way the stripes are. That's so cool. So, all right. Do we have Kim or Susan on this evening? No. Okay. There are lots more of these blanket scrap ends to make blankets for community donations. So if you are interested in making these, you can email them at pmqggivesback@gmail.com, and they can make arrangements for you to get some of those blanket ends. And then once the finished blankets are done, to get them back to them for donation. So would love to have folks work on that if you are interested. All right, we have lots of small groups for different interests. Those are on the calendar and on the members only section for the dates and the Zoom links. I know we have a improv small group, and there is the Sunday afternoon group, and there's a couple others that are currently active. If you are interested in starting your own small group for something specific, or just because there's a time that you want to meet at a coffee shop and sew with people, please let us know and we can try to get that advertised for you. So we'd love to have, more small groups. They're a great way to get to know other folks. All right, we have some new members this month. All of these folks, thank you so much for joining us. If you have friends that are interested in joining the guild, we are now having a half-year membership. So now it's $25 for the remainder of the year, if folks are interested. And we do have quite a few awesome speakers lined up for the rest of the year. So if you have a friend who wants to join, we'd love to have them. And then we do have an event coming up in October that we are going to have Sarah Flynn and Chris Marchini are speaking at the SAQA conference in Newburgh. So there's information here on the screen, and you can go to the SAQA website to get more info. if you're interested in attending that. So yeah, I'll leave this up for just a minute so that people can see it. All right, and then we're gonna do our show and tell. And this was totally by accident, but when I was putting together the show and tell slides for this evening, this image that we've been using as our background for our show and tell slide all year, we have the nearly finished quilt to show you in just a couple of slides. So Anne is here to show us that, and I'm excited for everybody to see it. All right, Anne, you want to unmute yourself, and I'm going to let Casey lead show and tell.
Hi. Can you hear me? Is it working?
You're very quiet, Anne.
I'm on a weird headset. Hang on 1 second. Is this better? Great. Hi, so I have a few quotes in tonight, and these are just tops. I'm not totally done, but Chris Batten will be back from vacation in August, and so I hope to have all the backs pieced and ready to go by then for her to long arm for me. So this is just my first around the world. I have one that I found at Goodwill that lives on my bed, and I really love that pattern, and it was actually really surprisingly fun and easy to make. And I just, not every fabric has to be expensive stuff, and so I bought just a bunch of stuff from Joanne with my mom while I was visiting, and I'm gonna gift this one to her when I get it back. And I made a mini version for a pillow too. And this one is the peanut butter quilt that then came June, released as a free pattern, I think. And this was so fun to make. I just laugh looking at it because these prints are all these like kind of vintage 90s floral and very kind of traditional prints that I got at that huge free table that we had last year, and just some fun solids. And so yeah, it was just really fun to make, and everything I make turns out to be a rainbow, but I love it. And yep, this is the almost finished. You can see I've just got a little row to add on the side there. So this is all hand basted and hand sewn 1-inch hexagons. The background, they're all white on white prints, and a lot of the color prints were from the free table, or well, that's what really inspired me. And then I just kind of bought a few here and there. It's not huge. It's probably like, I don't know, 70 by 50 or something. Like it's not huge, but it's really fun, and definitely going to be doing some custom quilting with Chris on this for me. So I'm excited. I'm going to do the white on white prints on a diagonal as the backing as well. And I'm already working on a second hexagon flower quilt with Liberty prints this time. Hexagons are very addictive. Of course, when we make a baby quilt, we want to see the baby on the quilt, please. So this is my friend living in Toronto. We met 13 years ago when I was teaching in Korea. Her baby's name is Sky, and Shelly, my friend, is just a really fun, funky person, and I love these prints and colors, and I just thought this was really bright and fun for a baby. So She said all the baby pictures now will be on this quilt, and that's a very high compliment for me. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Shirley's quilt. Shirley, are you here to chat about your quilt?
I am, thank you. I thank you for having me. I am a member, but I live north of Pittsburgh, and this is my first meeting. We are redoing our kitchen in our living room, and I wanted something that could be out on the couch all summer and it not be sort of like decorating from Memorial Day through Labor Day. And I didn't want something that was like over the top and super super loud. I wanted something sort of classy and minimalist, but also obvious. And I found this Liberty by Sweetwater. I think it's a pattern from last summer. The red strips are from a repurposed linen skirt that I had found at the local outlets that I was not 100% sure I was going to use again because it shifted so poorly, but it was a good learning experience. And I dug a 14-year-old yardage out of my stash that's printed with the Constitution that I couldn't have told you that I actually had until I pulled it off the shelf and said, well, past Shirley was looking out for future Shirley, and there's the perfect backing.
Awesome, thank you so much, Shirley.
Yep, thank you.
All right, next up we have Marika.
All right, so this is a quilt that you can see the original down here. It was in a bag of linens from my grandma that my mom had, and it was just totally in really rough shape. So I cut off one whole chunk of the binding that was totally shredded, and then I added a whole new binding in Kona white, and then I went through and I made little patches in all the area, and I re-sewed all the stuff down, and then but I felt like a white quilt wasn't super practical, and so last fall when there was a indigo dye day, I wasn't able to attend, but I gave it to Sarah, and Sarah and Marcy indigo dyed it last fall. And then Sarah gave it back to me, and I did not have time to set the dye. And so I just folded it up and I put it in the closet. And then last week, finally, I was like, I am going to do this. And I got out the vinegar and the big bucket, and I set the dye and I washed it, and now it's on our bed. So it's all hand pieced and hand stitched. There wasn't a label on it. So besides that it came from I don't think my grandma made it, but it came from my grandma. I don't know anything else about it. And this is a reason you should label your quilts so that people, 50 or more years from now will know the story behind them. So label your quilts.
Awesome, thanks so much, Marika. Next up we have Chris. Chris, are you here?
I am. So this is a traditional double wedding ring quilt pattern. I used my AccuQuilt to cut it all out, but for the actual parts of the ring, I did a bunch of crumb piecing. I did some foundation paper crumb piecing to try and use up my scraps. I also sacrificed a couple orphan blocks that I've picked up from friends and some from the free tables. So there's some mixed in there. That's a total of 220 of the little arches that I had to cut out. So by the time I was nearing the end, I was sick to death of crumb piecing my scraps together. So I grabbed a couple orphan blocks and threw them in there. And then the background color is the 2023 color of the year from Kona Cottons, and it's called Crush. And it looks very red here. In person, it's got more like a melon hue to it, but it's a really, really fun color to work with.
Hey, that's it. Chris, did you make a dent in your scrap bin?
I don't think so, no.
All right, well, that is our meeting. We'd love to have you stay and chat for a little bit if you want to, or head off to the rest of your evening. Thank you so much to everybody. And looking forward to seeing you in August for Bridget Dermott.
Thank you.
Thank you. No. Marika, the slideshow's still on. Oh, hi.
You're still recording too.
Yes, I need to end that. There we go.